We got a classic game from 2007. This is 1.53598, so not the latest or not the next to latest patch. So this game has some of the best players that have played this game. We got the team with the little one. He's got his brother, the big one, UEF and Aeon. And this is a 2v2v2. So against him we got Sir Louis as Aeon. On his team you got Mentel, so probably the best player is Sir Louis, and perhaps the second best or the best Mephi is Cybern, with Monarch as Aeon on his team. So 6 extremely good players. This map, players start on symmetric spots. There's a lot of islands here that are in between the other players. So of course you got the central island, no civs, so you just basically got to run to it and get the mass spots. And also 3 islands in between the 3 starting islands, with some actually pretty nice chunks of mass. This has about 2,000 mass each. So let me speed this up. I have no idea what happens in this game, but it's supposedly very good. So if we look at Sir Louis, starting with the ground, looks like he's going to spam quite a bit of power. He's got an engine going to. Actually, he's not going to the mass yet. He wants to get some power first. Got an NG expanding. Surprisingly, we don't see anybody coming out with early bombers. This is minute 2 already. We do have a first air from the little one. Probably going to get some transports. He's going into the water. Looks like his ACU is going to move to this side island. His teammate, the big one, is going for early Navy. And he does have multiple NGs on the middle island here. He's going to be going after this island against Mentel, who's UEF, who also has an NG up on that island. We see some early beginnings of a Navy for Monarch as well. And then some Navy from Mentel. So every single team has a player who's planning Navy. We got the big one, Mentel, and Monarch. We see a drop. It looks like a ghetto from Mephi. He's going against the big one, the little one. Yeah, so this is a transport with a couple light assault bots. There's really not much the little one can do here. We do have 3 interceptors supporting. It's gonna be a pretty big loss for the little one. He does have his island his ACU off the island. He's gonna rebuild his base on a new island. And we see actually quite a bit of T2 mass extractors now from the little one. It's curious to see how he'll counter. This is a bad situation to be in. He is trying to produce air, but it's not going to work. You can see his ally has made some anti-air. Yes, this is good support. So the Mephi sends away his transport, drops the light assault bots. Now he's just going to take out the NGs. So perfectly played from Mephi. He really put the little one in a bad situation. I will have to slow this down quite a bit. A lot of stuff happening. So now we see a bomber from the little one. The little one's left with 2 nice mass extractors, not too much power, and really he's going to get a bomber to bomb these. You see these have a whole bunch of kills, 4, 5, 6, 7. So pretty brutal. And he will meet Mephi's ACU up on this middle island. We see that it looks like the big one is losing the fight to Mentel for this top island, and the middle island is being taken over by Sir Louis with some Auroras. It looks like Sir Louis does have T2 ground with some amphibious flak. And yeah, Sir Louis is doing quite well. He's taking the middle island and the side island. He has a pretty big advantage with Aeon. Of course, Monarch also has Aeon, but still off the island. Now it looks like the little one has been able to recover, at least to a certain point. He has many T2 mass extractors at this point. Actually, all players in this game already at 6 minutes have quite a few mass extractors. See the little one and the Mephi meeting on the island. Looks like the little one is upgrading. An air fight between Mentel and Monarch, and T2 ground from Sir Louis, some amphibious and blazes from Aeon, so he's gonna have total control of this island. And now we see the ACU from Monarch and Sir Louis meeting on the middle island. A lot of things happening. So it looks like the focus from Little One, the Big One, is definitely going to be Mephi. I mean, just retribution for what Mephi's done. But Mephi's teammate here is going up against Sir Louis, so Monarch. Now we see a shield coming in from Sir Louis to protect his ACU. And on top, Mentel versus the Big One. It looks like Mentel is going to have this fight. I mean, if we see, we have T2 Navy already coming out from Mentel. That's quite early for Navy, for its 8th minute. This is going to do a lot of damage versus the Big One's base, if that's what Mentel decides to do. Now we see the Little One pushing pretty hard against the Mephi's expansion to the island. It looks like the Little One is going to take this island. We see the Big One's ACU moving over to, it looks like it's going to go onto Mephi's base. So really Mephi, with that early attack against the Little One, got the wrath of both this entire team against them. And it looks like this T2 ship, instead of attacking the Big One, Mentel went after Monarch. So instead of attacking the weaker team, it looks like yeah, it forced Monarch off the island. So the island now, 2 different islands belong to Sir Louis. He's going to get in a small fight here with Mephi. So FFA is really hard to keep track of. So now we see the Big One. It looks like he does have a T2 ACU. He's going to get a T1 PD. So it's a T2 PD and start pounding on Mephi's base. We see Monarch sending quite a few T1 Auroras and some submarines into the area. And these subs, actually 4 subs, will force these ACUs out of the water. Of course, now it looks like the Little One is going to get a torpedo launcher. That's going to be a nice counter to these. And really Mephi in a pretty big trouble. It's nice to see that Mentel is allowing the Big One and Little One to attack Mephi. He could really do a lot of damage with this T2 Navy. But it looks like this T2 Navy is just going to hang out. See what happens. Most likely Sir Louis will take this middle spot, the support of this T2 Navy. So early on, definitely Sir Louis and Mentel have the best position, with the Little One, the Big One, fighting against Mephi and Monarch. They can just observe and tag. This is the problem with FFA. So definitely more than half the map belongs to one team. Now we see the Big One being forced into the water. The Little One's still trying to make torpedo launchers to protect against these subs. It's going to be a dangerous situation for the Little One and the Big One, especially with this Navy in the air. It's actually 2 torpedo boats. These are extremely good torpedoes. They could really kill both of these ACUs if they wanted to, as long as the ACU stays in the water. And now you see Sir Louis is going to move Mephi off the middle island. Pretty much unfair, T2 versus T1. So the most aggressive player is paying the price, that being Mephi. Does have a nice amphibious force here. You see the wangers, but the Big One's going quite low in health now. This would be an excellent place for Mentel to blow up these ACUs right in Mephi's base. This would be like a nice nuke. Now it's a T2 torpedo launcher from the Little One. This might give some counter to these torpedo boats. See a nice submarine fight here. Well, not really, it's just a torpedo fight. Actually, this is a nice weapon against torpedo boats. Now we see a cruiser from Mentel. Now we're in minute 13, just to check who got the most mass from reclaims. See, Mentel got about 6,000, Monarch 4, Sir Louis 5, Little One 5, Mephi with 6, Big One with 5. So very even. It appears the big one has a whole bunch of eco that he's not using. And we see a whole bunch of now, we just saw a bunch of Mercies flying in the area. We're taken out. Yeah, the Mercies were going after Mephi, but the cruiser from Mentel protected Mephi. So this has excellent anti-air capabilities. Now the cruiser is going to be pounding this torpedo launcher. So it looks like the job for Mentel is basically to keep these two teams fighting without either one really taking the advantage, while him and Sir Louis just tech. We can see Sir Louis definitely going Aeon. He's going 2-2 amphibious. You see blazes, auroras, and shields, and some flak. It's really what Aeon's really good at. Pretty nice aurora force from Monarch. He can try to go against Sir Louis on this island. And now we see tactical missile defense trying to protect against the cruiser. Seems to be somewhat effective. And now we see the little one has just gone T3 on his ACU. A lot of build capacity, same as 18 engineers on this ACU. So he can build whatever he wants very quickly as long as he has the eco for it. Now we see a very nice force, UEF and Aeon together on Navy. Now we see torpedo boat has been sent forward. Nothing that can, well, some scouts are shooting it, so very weak units. And now we just saw Mephi get sniped by some Mercies. And that is game over for Mephi. So payback at minute 15 from the big one. Of course, now we see that Monarch is alone on his team. And it looks like it's going to be two teams fighting over his island. And we see the little one, the big one together, base on this island. Their main bases are completely exposed. There's absolutely no defense here. So if Mentel wanted to put a few ships here, he can just wipe all this out. We do see that Sir Louis has gone T3, he's making Perseus. That's going to be very interesting. So T3 ground, if he can drop those somewhere, he does have a T2 transport. That'll be pretty exciting. And now we see multiple shields, both Aeon and UEF for Mentel and Sir Louis at this point. And now we do see some of these Perseus brought in by the little one. Looks like they are going to be going against Monarch. So far this game looks like there's been 2v1 with Monarch and then Mephi just getting ganged up upon. Perhaps Mentel can keep this fight between the little one, the big one, and Monarch lasting as long as possible. If we look at the base for Mentel, he's got some T2 power. He's got T2 Navy and T2 Air. Looks like Sir Louis also has only one T2 power. He's going T3 with air pretty soon. The ACUs in the water. The safest spot for them to have total control over Navy. And we do see T3 air from the big one. He's making a Strat bomber. That's going to be very interesting what happens with that Strat bomber. And Monarch is just basically playing defense. He has a 1 T2 factory, no T2 power. He does have an excellent eco though in terms of mass. Some T3 mass. Now we see one cruiser for the big one, the little one, and the other for Monarch from Mentel. And now we see Sir Louis flying away on a T2 transport. We see another T2 transport here with looks like 3 Perseus. These are planning to fly. See a Strat bomber. It might be a drop. So excellent. So now it will be a drop on Mentel's base. So Mentel is going to pay a price for not attacking this this team. We see both Perseus and the ACU are dropped off. So late response from T1 Air from Mentel. See the little one has got 5 Perseus and the ACU. T3 ACU's got the gun and excellent build capacity. This is going to be excellent destruction of a base. We see T3 air, some broadswords going against the little one. He really doesn't have any kind of counters to it. He's gonna make T1 anti-air. That's gonna take a really long time to kill these units. Gonna try to make T2 flak. A lot of things happening here. We see Mentel trying to make T1 PD with these NGs. There are too many from the little one. Now the little one's going quite low in health. He's trying to make shields. And now the little one gets destroyed. So a nice attempt, but going into a superior base. He was able to give his units over to the big one. That's basically, it was effectively a nuke against Mentel. So minute 20, we got 2 players gone, the little one and Mephi. Looks like the big one is making strat bombers without any kind of air. This fight should belong to Sir Louis and Mentel, even though they did just get nuked. This is going to be a nice turtle from Monarch. Looks like we missed a little bit of fighting. He did go pretty low in health, but plenty of shields to protect. We do see restorers from Sir Louis. These are excellent units. Now we see the big one is going to hide his strat bombers. So now we see a few more destroyers. Looks like 3 destroyers, a couple torpedo boats, 2 cruisers, a few shield boats, and a whole bunch of AN-T2 amphibious. Obviously it looks like Sir Louis is going to tech a little longer. Get a T3 power. And Mentel is going to rebuild his base. So a little bit of a stalemate. The question is who Mentel and Sir Louis want to kill first. Don't want to leave the big one alone for too long. I mean, he doesn't have too much defense, but he has excellent eco. It's pretty crazy building T3 power with absolutely no defense. And yeah, these cruisers are not very effective. Not clear why Mentel and Sir Louis are not being a little more aggressive. Perhaps they just want to take the time to tech. This is a nice. It looks like we have 5 strat bombers now. 5 strat an ACU. And this might be exactly what the big one is thinking about. We do have an ACU just standing there. Oh wow. Oh, there it is. That was the 5th bomb. So that was really does not look like a high level game. Why would you ever leave your ACU just standing there? Well, that's what happened, and the big one took advantage. So a pretty big turn, and also no give. So this really turns the game on its head, because now we got a 1v1v1, and Sir Louis just lost a lot of units. And the big one did get the base from the little one. So now really the best player at this point is probably the big one. They keep fighting each other. Doesn't look like Sir Louis, without the support of Mentel, really has the capacity to do anything to Monarch. It'll just be an Aeon and an Aeon fight. In terms of naval production, maybe Sir Louis has a little bit of an advantage. He does have some cruisers. But yeah, he has 1 T3 power, so his power is probably fine. And he does have plenty of mass that he can take. Now, this is a lot of mass somebody can reclaim. So it looks like now the plan for the big one is going to be GC. He does have some T3 torpedo bombers. Now he just got scouted by Sir Louis. Sir Louis knows exactly what's happening. Now we also see a shield on the big one, so it's very, very hard to snipe an ACU that has a shield. So at this point it looks like the big one is in the best position, but now we do see that Sir Louis is going to try to make his air superiority count. He took out all the air, and now he's going in with a few restorers. He's going after T3 power, of course, plenty of flak from the big one, and then this restorer has to run away. Now we do see a pretty big amphibious fight here between Monarch and Sir Louis, and no clear winner. I see a lot of losses. Maybe Monarch could take a push against the big one here, get a little more eco for himself, because he really has not much of the map. Both the big one and Sir Louis have quite a few mass extractors. This is going to be nice from Sir Louis. Just use this Resty. See a T3 anti-air from the big one. That's a little too far away to kill that unit. Looks like most of the build capacity is going to the GC for the big one. And now we see a scout from the big one. That's always nice to see. And it looks like Sir Louis did lose this fight here. So Monarch doing quite well. Doesn't look like he has too many plants. He's got Arty. He's making T2 Arty. But if this GC is built and the big one sends it against Monarch, Monarch really can't do much. If you look at Sir Louis, he is making more power. And he's making his own GC. Actually, Sir Louis is almost finished with the GC. He really hit this one well in the water. So very even with the big one. So both the top players here are going to have an experimental. It's an excellent restorer, just going around and killing T2 mass extractors. See the big one rebuilding his pretty quick. Now Sir Louis did send a single engine to take this mass back. Probably nice to see a little more engines up there. And now Monarch is attacking Sir Louis. Probably has enough force to attack the big one as well. There's really only some T1, well, a T2 PD, and looks like this Arty, very ineffective. A single Arty against going up against shields, it's going to take forever. I still see this T3 factory that TheLittleOne built. There's a few Percys that the big one may choose to use. And now we see this GC has just been finished by Sir Louis, this minute 29, and we might see meeting between the big one's ACU and this GC, so would be quite unlucky for the big one, because he does have the shield but would not be able to take on experimental. This is not clear what he's thinking. He's got to scout and realize there's a GC coming and run away. So now he's running away for some reason. Not clear if he... Yes, so he's got that upgrade that allows him to see much further than other ACUs. So that really just saved his life. He's going to run into the water. Now he's got his own GC coming in. This will be interesting. Now he's going to try to reclaim. It looks like he's got T3 engineer in his ACU, so he's going to be quite effective. And now an overcharge. So it looks like the big one is going to have problems at his own base. The GC can, well, no. Curious what Sir Louis is thinking here. He might just park this GC here, just to keep the big one from using his GC offensively. Yes, Sir Louis is going to bring a whole bunch of shields to support his GC. See some torpedo launchers from the little one, and some restorers. And now we see actually a torpedo launcher, a torpedo bomber. That got shut down quite quick. And now a restorer from Sir Louis going against the GC. So the big one also making quite a few shields. So far it's just been a dance. So all this is happening, we see that Monarch is rebuilding, and he just sent his ACU in. He's going to take the rest of his island back, so Mephi's old base. It's extremely even. Now we see more torpedo bombers going against the big one. He's got a shield in his ACU. It's going to take a lot of bombers to do anything to him. And now we're going to see this fight support with a few Perseus. It's going to be excellent support. Looks like a lot more shields from Sir Louis. But now this is just bad. Yeah, this is great support from the ACU. And it'll be a win for the big one. He's going to get a nice chunk of mass for himself. It's better to die in the water than won't leave a wreckage. And now we see a pretty nice T2 naval force from Monarch. He also has those Arty, which have the range to attack Sir Louis' navy production. Sir Louis has major problems. He's losing his side island, and his central island is going to be under question as well with this GC that's got more than half its health. And now it looks like the big one's going to build a second one, probably using the mass from Sir Louis' dead GC. And it appears that Monarch is going to go against the big one with this navy. It's not a very good place to build a GC in range of this navy. So Monarch might want to think about building his own GC, because at this point he'll be very vulnerable. And we don't see a second GC from Sir Louis. So that's going to be really bad. As soon as the big one gets 2 GCs, he's going to have a force that he won't be able to counter. See some T2 NGs coming to the middle from the big one, looking for stuff to reclaim probably. And now, yeah, this GC is going to be built very quickly. We see some more T2 Arty from the big ones. It looks like T2 Arty is popular on this map. See a whole bunch of Harbies from Monarch. These cannot go underwater, so they're just going to be used for defense, or perhaps they'll be dropped. Now see these T2 NGs moving in. And looks like a donut is planned from Sir Louis. This is very expensive. I'm not sure what he's thinking there, but perhaps he knows something. You also see some resties from the big one. Excellent units for raiding. And it looks like Sir Louis' naval production is under question with this Arty going against these naval. It'll take a little while to destroy, but it's still a store of force from Monarch as well. So all 3 players are Aeon, and all 3 players have restorers. Yes, Sir Louis has some as well. Some torpedo launchers, so planes for all kinds of situations. Now we see this 2 GC force. Looks like the big one is going to move up instead of just directly against one of the players. Not clear what he's thinking about there. And now this is a whole bunch of tactical missile launchers. So it looks like the big one is going to go for a snipe. It's amazing what Sir Louis is thinking here. This costs about as much as 2 of these GCs, and is quite vulnerable versus air, but I guess if nobody has too much air, it would be an excellent unit. I will speed this up a little bit since players are not being very aggressive. Will be a T2 Navy against the GC. It's going to be a pretty big loss for the Navy. Actually, this is a whole bunch of T2 Arty here. See 5 T2 Arty. It's completely wiping out naval production from Sir Louis. He's going to have to build new naval factories. IGCs are just getting shot. Yeah, they got to move out of that position. Now the big one has finished. This is a whole bunch of tactical missiles. So if somebody's not paying attention, these could probably reach most of the map. You can see how far they can reach. Not most of the map, but it should be in range. And now we see those cruise missiles fired. Let's see what they're gonna hit. It's going again. After hours goes. Yeah, this is gonna be a big loss for Sir Louis. Not clear why he does not have tactical missile protection here. Just lost 2 T3 powers. That's gonna destroy his economy. If he loses one more, it's just going to be terrible. And now we see the restorers from Monarch went after the big one's ACU, but were forced to retreat. Not clear by what, but they were forced to retreat. So now the big one is going to get a little more flak and perhaps a couple more shields. So now both players, both Monarch and Sir Louis, got to be spamming tactical missile defense really hard. And now the big one has to worry about this Navy. This Navy from Monarch just ran into 2 GCs. They got to run. Let me slow this down a little bit. These missile launchers might be in danger. And 2 GCs just stopped in the middle. Not clear why they're not rolling through into Sir Louis' base. And this donut's nearly finished. However, it did take a little damage from those exploding T3 power generators. And it seems to be a restorer spam from Monarch. And now the big one is sending his restorers to the middle. They're going to run into a little bit of ASF. And now finally the GCs, which could have done this a long time ago, moving in against Sir Louis, but he has finished his donut to this one. This is not something you see all the time. A donut versus GCs, and if there is no anti-air, but it appears that this donut is in danger of getting killed by all these restorers. And Sir Louis just lost the donut. That's tragic. Really big chunk of mass. However, it did cause a lot of damage against these GCs. And they'll be finished off. This is going to be 3 really large chunks of mass in the middle. That's going to be quite interesting. So Restorer is really the name of the game in this one. We see a whole bunch of T3 torpedo launchers, torpedo bombers from Sir Louis. Looks like he's hiding in the... Oh, no longer hiding. So a very even fight. So it looks like about 15 restorers from Monarch. And now the big one is not going to let this opportunity pass by. He's going to go after this mass in the middle. So with these types of chunks of mass on the map, whoever has the most power to use all this mass is probably going to be in the biggest advantage. We see another... this could be against Sir Louis. If these hit the ACU, no, it's not. Some cruisers do have really good anti-missile defense. Perhaps it was the cruiser that stopped all those cruise missiles. Now the big one's getting quite a bit of mass for himself. We see this. Actually, I now understand what happened. This donut wreckage was just sniped by the big one, so that Sir Louis could not reclaim it. That's an excellent move. And while this is happening, we see basically a restorer spam from Monarch. It looks like he's going to get another shield on his ACU, basically make his ACU nearly indestructible. That's an excellent move in a game like this. And now the big one has to worry. He's got to go against restorers on ground, and he will be going against torpedo bombers in the water. Actually, quite a bit of damage there. So he's going to stand on the shore. Maybe he'll come back out. Of course, these torpedo bombers do have to fly over his base, and he does have some AA there, but it's a bad situation for the big one. Yeah, now he's going down to 7k health. And it looks like he will die. So Sir Louis should really save his units. They shouldn't be there in the explosion. and the big one has been defeated. He really had the opportunity to kill Sir Louis if he used his GCs. Looks like a snipe attempt. Wow, Sir Louis really went down low in health. It looks like that snipe attempt was nearly successful from the big one. So while he was getting killed, he was shooting cruise missiles at Sir Louis' ACU. That's what I'm assuming happened. And now experimental battleship, the Tempest from Sir Louis. Really not excusable for the big one to give it away like this. With having 2 GCs, he could have just moved in and killed Sir Louis. It took his time, let Sir Louis build up the donut, and the donut did a lot of damage against those GCs. And while this was happening, Monarch was teching and making a whole bunch of restorers. So he probably has enough restorers to do quite a bit of damage against Sir Louis, unless he has a whole bunch of T2 flak. It looks like the Tempest has been completed. So that tactical missile volley from the big one was very effective. Not clear why both players are not spamming tactical missiles. I mean, they could at least use it to snipe mass extractors that are not protected, and it caused a lot of damage against things like experimentals. So it looks like Sir Louis is going to move it through the top. Probably couldn't move it through the bottom. This water channel is completely full of shipyards. And is this battleship stuck? Shouldn't be stuck. Now we see some scouting from Sir Louis. And it looks like the AA for Monarch is very effective. Scouts get destroyed very quickly. And now we see Artie versus Restorer. Restorer just sitting there. And now scouting from Monarch against Sir Louis. T1 Scout don't really even make it into the base. So in terms of expanding and capturing maps, Sir Louis is definitely doing much better. He has sent in some T2 tanks, some engineers, as well as his navy. The navy for Monarch is actually very good. He's got a whole bunch of T2 destroyers. He's just not really using them. And now we see the restorers from Monarch moving in. Not clear what his targets are going to be. Looks like the anti-nuke. He just took out the anti-nuke. There is a nuke being built by Sir Louis. So did we miss? Yeah, a nuke built by Monarch. Completely missed that. So that was excellent. So Monarch is about to get a nuke, and Sir Louis just lost his anti-nuke. He rebuilt it very quickly, but he might not be able to get the missile done in time. He's going to get some shields. So a nuke versus experimental battleship. That's going to be the fight. Perhaps this Tempest can go in and kill this nuke. It's got a whole bunch of shields. Now it's nearly done. So minute 52. Perhaps that nuke will be completed. Now it's been completed. And now the restorers go in again to kill anti-nuke that wasn't even loaded. And now Monarch is free to launch his nuke. He just did. And it's going to be a little bit of a naval fight here. It's a relatively painless nuke. Did lose about half his base, but that's alright. He's got a whole bunch more on the map. The problem is that Monarch is going to continue making nukes and keep wiping things out. It does appear that Monarch no longer has a whole bunch of restorers, however, so he might be a little bit limited in terms of countering Sir Louis' navy. And Sir Louis does have this Tempest, excellent weapon. It has excellent range, so it might be a bad situation for Monarch. So it's a situation where on a small map a nuke isn't a clear win. It looks like, yeah, all of the build capacity is going into this nuke. You've got 101 kills with that nuke. and some more power built by Monarch. He really needs to spam a lot more shields. And this T1 power is really in his way. He needs to get rid of it and build shields. He has absolutely no counter to this battleship. No navy and no restorers. And that's going to be bad. Perhaps he could counter it with this nuke if he can finish it in time. Oh, whoops. I think this way we'll be able to see a little more of the map. But these shots don't have a really fast reload rate. And now we see a GC coming in from Sir Louis. Well, perhaps this T2 already could be go underwater, but then it can't use its main cannon. It's tragic to see Harbies get killed like that. This nuke is actually just completed, so it'd be nice to see this nuke actually used against this. Well, it's also a problem. There's this experimental and a GC. So if Monarch could find out where the ACU is and guess where it would end up, that's really his only chance. And that nuke is going against the base, but that base already did its job. So now we see this GC moving in from Sir Louis. Not much the Monarch can do. He does have 2 shields in his ACU, so if he was overcharging now, and now it looks like it'll be a loss for Monarch. Makes it into the water. Perfect timing on those torpedo bombers from Sir Louis. So a win for Sir Louis. Really extremely good players, but not the best gameplay. We did see a whole bunch of interesting strats, however. We saw nukes, saw the Tempest, saw a donut from Sir Louis, but in my opinion, the big one should have had it. So hope you guys enjoyed it.